first tell me, when you did a reeval, was everything okay in your standard?
When we did the initial reevaluation and understand was on the private side, we were asked by numerous organizations, corporations, and businesses to see if what they were being told by law enforcement and the feds was equal to what they should expect in that. Initially, there were some concerns, and I had some concerns initially. They were behind in purchasing equipment. They were behind in getting officers from out the United States to come here and be, committed to work.
And when was that on the timeline?
That was within about 3 to 6 months before, so there was a little bit of a worry that we weren't going to have everybody we needed, and we weren't going to have all the equipment we needed because they were behind the times. And we did research on the G20 up in Toronto and the Tampa convention, and then we did some intelligence gathering on the protest groups that were coming.
And so, fast forward since then, there have been, just god-awful incidents around the world.
Yeah. Police
targeted at home. What is different now about the security here because of those events?
Well, I can tell you a couple things that are unprecedented here that they've done, and they've done an excellent job. The first thing is the use of barricades, the use of steel, tall, interlocking barricades, the use of the cement, the use of the combination. They are using an immense amount of barricades. They're taking snowplow trucks and using them as portable barricades. They're stationing the snowplow trucks and other large equipment throughout the greater Cleveland area in case they need to move and have the ability to block stuff or control stuff. The other thing they're doing, which is really very good, is they're having a lot more mobility with their officers. Bicycles, motorcycles, and horses. A lot of use in that, an increased use in that, and that makes a huge difference because those three types of vehicles can get around crowds and move very well compared to a cruiser.
Yeah, of course. One of the things that I think the world has come to know is that, intel really gives law enforcement an idea of what groups are doing and that kind of thing, but the lone wolf has posed the biggest threat in the last couple of cases where seemingly out of nowhere, someone decides to just wreak havoc. How do you protect against that here?
Yeah, well, one thing I want to say is my company is one of the premier companies. We've done over 300 analysis of shooters for schools, businesses, and events. And one of the things about the lone wolf that we're finding out, it's a very common denominator. A lot of them have emotional issues, challenges, and that goes without saying. But the bigger thing is, unfortunately, the 24/7 media coverage and the 24/7 celebritizing of the shooters is really affecting the copycat syndrome with the lone wolf.
Well, then how would you, as a member of the media, my question would be this: how do you effectively cover that news in the public interest and yet not have that residual effect of what you call celebritizing?
I think it's very simple. We don't show the picture of the person that's the shooter, and we don't say their name, and we don't put it in print. Public want to know all about him or her, their background, what could have went on. We can give them all the background stuff. Just leave their photo and their name out of the news, the fronts of magazines, newspapers, 24/7, because we know from reading diaries of these shooters, which doesn't get released to the public, they look and respect and glamorize the previous shooters. They mention them in their diaries, and they mention how they want to equal or surpass what they did. So we know it's a psychological thing to them.